Right, okay, everyone should be as intended, working as intended anyway. Let's hope it stays that way. A couple of issues when I was pre-testing things, hopefully it sticks this time. Let's get a switch and see. Hello! Yes, okay, we should be fine now. There was computer issues beforehand. Well, at least camera issues. It was pure like 15 frames a second for some reason. Should be good now. What's happening? What's popping? It's game day. It's time. It's a pretty crucial match for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of factors that go into today that could make it very much interesting. The starting thing obviously being that this is of course Nancy's first game in charge, therefore the formation has changed, the layout of the team has changed, and probably the tactical approach has changed as well. So this one's going to be definitely interesting to see. We always shout out the first ones in chat. Nice to see you as well, Caden. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, this one's definitely going to be one to watch for sure. Hearts are looking to kind of stave off the inevitable, let's say. You know what I mean? They've not been in, let's say, the greatest of forms, especially over the last 5 or 6 match days or so. They've been kind of dropping points in games that they realistically shouldn't be dropping points in. So coming to Celtic Park with a kind of pressure on them to win is pretty interesting. It's a different dynamic. Usually it's, you know, all Celtic, one-way pressure, we have to be the better team, but the fact of the matter is, yeah, we've got that game in hand, so even if we lose, it's not necessary. It's not detrimental. We can still keep pace, but getting a win against them today would be quite ideal, to be honest with you. It would be nice to see us kind of have that approach and just get across the line. As long as we don't absolutely fuck it up, fantastic. That's as good as I can ask for, honestly. You know, as long as we do that, I'm content. I've got optimism for this game. I'm not thinking that we're going to absolutely counter this, but I think obviously the different approach will kind of stagnate any high scoring chance of a game being like 3, 4, 5-0. I don't see that happening. It's just not going to. Hearts are a pretty well set team and they tend to score goals, but they have been kind of shot for confidence. I mean, if you watched that last game against Kelly for the last 10 minutes, it did not look like they were a comfortable team at all, and Kelly were able to grab that late one to really fucking, twist the knife into them, so to speak. So they'll need to win, absolutely. Celtic don't necessarily have to, but it would be nice if we would. I think it should be straightforward that we get, a decent performance out of the boys today. Like I said, the formation changes are quite interesting. Nice to see you, Kev. Hope you're well, man. Chapets, that's an incredible name. I need to start using that more. That's now going to be part of my vocabulary, I think. Nice to see you as well, Arthur. Hope you're well. Hearts fans are out in good voice. We kick off in about 7 minutes or so. It's not exactly a day for it, man. It is pissing it down on all fronts. Glasgow's no different. So keep that in mind. It's definitely going to be a slick pitch today. Balls will be kind of sliding all across the place, and you can imagine 1 or 2 loose passes could actually be very detrimental to us if they decide to skip off the surface and get through and behind. They do have runners, Hearts. I should pull up all the things that I need to pull up very quickly. Let me just do that so you can get a gander at what I'm talking about, because you probably have no real idea until you actually see it for yourselves. But here you go. There's a little look at a lineup right there. It's an interesting one for sure. I mean, it seems that Nancy's favoured the whole Maeda up front approach, which is quite nice to see, although we have changed a couple of things. There's no McCowan starting on the right hand side in any capacity. In fact, you would almost say that it's completely changed, because despite the fact we don't have that many wingers, this formation predominantly uses wingers. So yeah, on that right hand side it's going to be Arn and Benji Boy, and that's going to be an interesting one. On the left, not too bad. I don't mind connecting Yang. The question would then be, who the fuck do we bring on to replace them realistically? Right, you've got Balikwisha and Forrest, and that's maybe about it. So yeah, definitely interesting to see how it lines up, but it's the standard kind of 3-4-3. If you've watched any of the games that he did when he was in charge at Columbus, it's the same type of formation, but with that added advantage, obviously, having those kind of natural centre backs. And again, with the way this might work for players like, Simpson Pussy, for instance, because he's a right back, centre back type of player, so he could fit into this system quite well. So I don't mind it too much. It's just, to play this immediately out the gate is a bit of an interesting one. Nothing was really broken with Martin O'Neill's system, so it'll be a case to see how they kind of approach this one. But if you want a kind of rundown of a lineup, as you would expect, Schmeichel starts in between the sticks. It's just a flat 3 at the back. It's going to be Tierney on the left hand side, Trusty on the right, and Scales playing centrally. You'd imagine they would just rotate as necessary, but more or less it would stay as is. The midfield is interesting. Like I said, you got Arn on that right hand side, probably for his long range passing. Don't like to play him on the right wing because he's not the best crosser. Benji's probably a bit more ideal for that, I guess, but that would have probably been the type of position you would expect Forrest to get a start in, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it's going to be Benji that starts there, and obviously Arnon behind him. Like we talked about, you've kind of got Maeda starting up front and Yang on the left hand side of him, I should say, and Tenekti playing in behind him. Rio and McGregor are kind of holding up the midfield spaces. It will be interesting to see how we kind of encompass the midfield, because we might have extra bodies there, but they'll be stretched out a little bit more. And again, we won't have that advantage of being able to push a centre back forward, because then you're dealing with two centre backs at the back, especially in games like this. You don't want to do that too often. Let's be honest, man. I mean, for Hearts, it's a bit different. I mean, not too different from the last time that we played. Pretty much almost the same side, with a couple of tweaks here and there. Obviously, Sfollo was incredible in that 3-1 game against us. Let's be honest, man. He came up with some pretty good saves in that one. Finlay, Halkett and Steinwender, pretty solid 3 centre-back formation. But again, they have a different approach where they've dropped 2 extra back. So while we've gone with an extra 2 to push forward, they've just kind of counteracted it and made sure that they've got those extra 2 defensively, which is obviously McEntee and Milner. So, you know, pretty much as you would expect from them, to be honest with you. It's an interesting formation. It's certainly going to be one that could line up quite well against a formation like ours. Who knows? It's going to be definitely going to be one to watch for sure. I do like the fact they've got Casredes playing on that left hand side, very solid player. Braga, of course, has that ability to pull out an incredible pass every now and then. Thomas Magnussen's been pretty much one of the more stable midfielders, and Cameron Devlin's popped up with some pretty cool moments here and there. You've got to give Hearts a credit. They do have a good side, good starting 11 at the very least. It's going to be, you know, a case of how did they approach this one. Just weird seeing Scott Brown with full helm on. Every time I see it, I don't believe it for a half second. But you've got Lauren Shanklin starting up front. It's going to be fun for sure. Fair enough, my guy, fair enough. I concur, I'd love to see that. Maybe if you want a little look at some of the bench players, there you go. Like I said, we do have that advantage of bringing on players. Aniacho could technically come off the bench if he needs to. Players like Murray, players like Bernardo, players like Kenny, McCowan, Balikwisha, all definitely options we could use. The only one I don't really see being used is Ralston, unless we're looking to play a more defensive kind of placement on that right hand side. They've got a couple of faces that you might probably see feature. You would imagine Cabango would definitely be one of those, and as well as that, probably players like Blair Spittle as well. There's definitely some interesting switches that both teams could 100% make. It is pretty much a packed out stadium despite the weather conditions. And like I said, table wise, if you look at it, it is pretty interesting if you want a little gander at that before we get any touch and start reading out the lineups and stuff like that. But it's, as you would expect right now, it is Hearts on top, but they do have that extra game played, and if we win this one, obviously we still have that game in hand over them anyway. So like I said, it's not necessary that we win today, but it would be damn well good if we could. So yeah, according to this, well, according to Sky, the formation's a little different. On's playing on the left hand side of Maeda and Yang's playing in behind Nygren. So it'll be interesting to see if it's a case of rotatory wingers, the same system that O'Neill practically used, but with the kind of added addition of there being a whole extra layer. And you would imagine that, I guess, it would honestly make more sense if Tenekti and Yang were the actual forward wingers, and then you just drop Benji on to play the kind of midfielder roles a bit more. But it's pretty much bar for bar exactly what... Well, actually, no, they've gone with almost a 4-3-3 here. But as you would expect, they would drop players in as necessary. But in Sky, they've got McEntee playing in the midfield, so definitely an interesting one for sure. Boys are just heading out the tunnel now. We'll read out the lineups one last time once they're doing it on the screen as well, just so you can be kept in the loop. Fair enough, Caden, can't argue with that. Well, the wind is blustering and the rain is pouring, but you have a feeling it's not going to mar the effect of the team too much. You have a feeling there's going to be pure vibes in this one, and vibes alone. Which will be great for a lot of reasons. So it'll be interesting to see how Nancy's first start goes. As someone who's watched a lot of Columbus Crew games, I can tell you right now, it's not going to be the fanciest brand of football. Good counter-attacking football, you've got stable ground football, good on set pieces. It's just going to be a case to see how that system adapts to an SPFL type league, because in the MLS it's all about trickery and speed, and The Scottish League, it's not really too much about that. It's more about kind of technicality and physicality above all else. And like I said, I'm not expecting us to go out and absolutely canter this. You can tell by my prediction down there. I don't think Hearts have got it in them to cause a surprise unless our formation really fucks us over, basically. Which could still be the case, absolutely. I'm not going to sit there and deny that. It could catch us off guard. Manager's just getting his rounds of applause now. That's why there's a slight delay to kick off. It'll probably be an extra minute or two, so keep that in mind. Nice to see you, Lizzie. Hope you're well, Lars. So, let's read out the lineups one last time for those that are just coming in or just interested to see who we've gone with and what formation we're playing with. So it is that classic kind of 3-4-3 formation, but keep in mind things are subject to change down either side. But it's Schmeichel starting in between the sticks, Tierney, Scales and Trusty are our three centre-backs. I'm playing on that right-hand side, technically, according to Google, but according to this anyway, but on live score, it puts him on the left, but keep in mind they'll rotate as necessary. But what it says here is that I'm starting on the right with Benji in front of him. Don't think that's the case. I think it's Benji starting on the right and then Tenecte kind of on the left up front with Yang playing in behind them, on just rotating as necessary. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this all works out on paper. It's pretty interesting, to be fair. We'll see how it goes, but McGregor and Rio hold their spots in the midfield and Dyson holds his spot up front, so nothing changes in that regard. For Hearts, it's follow starting in between the sticks. Milner, Finlay, Halkett, Steinweider and McKenty are their defensive players, but keep in mind, like I said, according to Google, McKenty's playing in a more central position just to give them that flat four when they need to. He'll drop back as necessary. Devlin and Magnussen are their two midfielders, with Braga and Chrysidis playing as their kind of winger system, let's say, and Shankland being their man up front. The ball has been kicked. We're underway. Let's play some football, boys. Anything half decent would be good enough for me. Once the stats come up, obviously I'll refresh them, but for now I pretty much just have to do this. I do apologise. Let's get rid of that ad because that's stupid. You know the drill. The stats will come up at some point. Nice to see you, Stephen. Likewise with you, Tommy. Already a long throw in to come in for Tierney. He's just going to fire this up the park, you would imagine. Well, he almost faked out towards Schmeichel, but instead commits to going forward eventually. It's popped up. Out for another throw in. It's going to be curious to see how this goes. There's the stats page there. That'll kind of load up slowly over time, you'd imagine. It does this every fucking time. I need Google to fix our shit at some point. I preferred their scoreboards when it worked. Now, let's just hope Nancy gets after a good start. Like I said, the formation's just going to be interesting to see how specifically the defenders approach this one, because if you've got Trusty playing on that far side, Scales is going to do a lot of the marking on his own centrally. So I'll be curious to see if we drop bodies back to help cover. It's probably why we still have players like Ralston on the bench just in case we need them. It's some good shift work for Celtic though, good take and touch, played up the left hand side. Tenecte's already got it, trying to funnel his way through, good pass for the Tunisian, nice 1-2 football here, it's quite fast paced. Like I said, anyone that's watched the MLS in recent times, they can tell you that Columbus had a pretty European style of play in an American league, and that's what worked in their favour. But the key thing will be positioning, and stuff like that's not going to help. Break down that right hand side, good hold up play. Tenecte tries his best to hold on to it. Shankland cuts in to get in front of it, but it goes out for a throw in on that far side, comfortable enough. Goes for that, tries the long throw. I can respect the Hearts just tap out to the side for yet another throw in. There's been a few of those quite quickly, to be honest. I hope you're all having a lovely, well, I was going to say lovely weekend. Technically, with the weather, it wouldn't be too lovely weather-wise, so anything else besides that though, I hope it's been great. Hope you have been enjoying yourselves. Keeping yourselves warm and busy, that's a good pass. So one thing I'm immediately noticing out the gate is the fact that Tierney isn't pressing forward, which is actually kind of a pleasant surprise, because it means that you're going to have that at least anchored centre-back pairing, which is nice. Again, was kind of tripped up on that play though. Definitely helps him to his feet. It's a hell of an introduction for the Frenchman, isn't it? For his first game in charge, he gets thrown into the deep end with fucking weather against the technically tied for top of the table. even if they do have that game in hand. Try to go for a force switch, it's just kind of loosely popped back in. Yang will engage the chase down. Could have got awkward there, but the Hearts do well to play it into space actually, and they've got to run down that side. Apparently it's been pulled back, I think it was offside anyway, yep. Slight annoyance there for Braga, but I don't think he's can argue with it too much. Felt one of your best weekends in a long time. Well, that's good to see, man. Top class stuff, Caden. There was a good ball forward, but we don't really have the most physical bodies there, so problematic that we're going to get anything from that's just going to be played back to Sforot. I think the annoying thing for Nancy is that he doesn't have the Green Brigade to give him a proper welcome, but the fans have done a good enough job as is. Every other seat's pretty much taken, so that's good to see. Well, maybe so, MK. Nice, good pass, lovely for Trusty, keeps things open, played out right hand side, there's a breakdown. There, we could shift it if we have to. Which, yep, Rio eventually decides to do. Young's going to cut it back. So it's kind of like I said, you got Yang rotating with on as necessary depending on where they are when the boys go forward. That's a lovely ball over the top, well cut out. I think by Findlay there, played back across, chase downs engaged, Mill just clears it as far up the field as possible towards a yank, and it's going to be gathered by Trusty, calm off big man, love to see it. Pop the back into space. And this is a thing with this system, you're going to get a lot of attacks down either flank, not so many central options to be honest. Going to be here for the World Cup, most likely. I mean, the draw was, I was really hoping, I was really fucking hoping that we would get a, you know, one of the host nations minus Mexico. I was kind of hoping we would get a America or Canada. Instead we ended up with fucking Brazil and Morocco, and they're both very good countries in their own respective rights. The story tells you that Brazil are one of the, you know, constant consistents when it comes to World Cup football, and Morocco were semi-finalists last time out, so I think the only advantage is that Morocco will be playing against us in Boston, so depending on the weather it could fuck them up. And Brazil are in a bit of a weird stint. I don't see us losing to Haiti. I think we'll at least get our first win since the 90s, which is nice, but we just have to play probably to be one of the better third place teams if anything. Get a draw against Morocco, win against Haiti, and don't get battered by Brazil or something like that. That would be ideal for me. That was Rio just standing over his man there. Because with the pitch being kind of more slick than usual, you can imagine there's going to be a lot more loose balls, trip ups, fouls, shot pulls, slips just in general. We can't really speak too much until we see a chance. There hasn't really been too many at all. Sforot's just going to direct his men forward and send it as high up. That's what I'm saying. At the very least he knows that if no one gets a head on it, it could take that weird bounce. It's the advantage of playing in the rain. Well, he does send it far forward, it just goes straight towards Schmeichel, so no problem in the end there. Calm enough for us. Didn't Australia get drawn in the group with the US? I'm pretty sure they got fucking, who was it again? It was Ghana, Croatia and someone else, I believe. Panama, I think. I'm not too sure. The group with Norway, Senegal and fucking France is a ball, although that's probably, if you're saying there's a group of death, that would probably be it. Second would be us, right? You got Brazil, Morocco, Scotland on the uppins. I just feel for Haiti. But if you're going for a group of insane fans, then Group fucking C has got it all covered, man. Brazil, mental. Morocco, mental. Scotland, mental. Haiti, loud and proud. Oh, well, you can see what they were trying to do there, Hearts. There was a break in behind. Trusty's going to get there. Hopefully, I was going to say, just be aware that there's a man chasing you down there, Chief. Shankland's kind of stepped in a little bit. It's allowed McKenty to stay a bit further back, and it's kept the press quiet. Good, really good pass out, actually. Equally good touch for Tierney. Goes for a switch in behind. That could be dangerous. Maeda tries to catch. Just follow out early with the early shot. It's not too bad at all. But again, with how slippery the surface was, you don't think he really set himself purely for the shot. Love how he's still got that bandage on for the last match just to make sure that he's properly prepped up. That's a good pass. Played into space. Surely this is one! Oh, it's case in point. Dyson slipped and just couldn't figure out the shot. That should have been a goal, and instead he's fucked it. Should have been Nancy's opening goal as coach there. That would have been his first. It was a great counter-attack. Great steal from us. We got into the box just as effectively as we could. But Dyson doesn't cover himself in glory. It's shown that first one with the run. He was onside on his man there. And he scuffed that shot. And then the second one, once it came into the box, was pretty much the same. It was a lovely cut in behind. Lovely taking touch for Tinekti. Lays it across brilliantly for the Japanese man. And he just doesn't set himself. Kind of kicks it into the ground. It's unlucky for the big man, absolutely. But should have done at least a little bit better to try and at least direct it towards target. That would have been ideal. No, genuinely look it up. Australia got drawn into the same group as the US. And I know England and the US didn't get the same group because they're both in the same pot. I think Canada probably got the easiest group. Their only real opponent is maybe Switzerland, depending on who gets through that UEFA playoff draw. Oh shit, that's a lucky knock on. That could be problematic. Good cut out in time for Tierney there. Schmeichel's going to have to just first time this. Pops out to far side, and it's going to be a throw in for Hearts about 50 yards or so from our box. I don't think it's in territory for a long one. They might just play it short and go for a quick cross if anything, but options are certainly limited. I say Celtic have had the better opening 10 minutes. Hearts have had stints, little moments of pressure here and there, but you'd say it's been about 80% us, 20% them so far. Seen Tierney pick up that ball for a throw in a lot in the early stages of this one. I don't disagree. I feel like Brazil are obviously still strong favourites for the group. Doesn't matter what their form is. At the end of the day, they're still fucking Brazil. That's a good pass. Good for Maeda. Lovely layoff actually, and it's allowed an overlay. That could be problematic for Hearts. They might have to deal with a shot here. Shot does come in, deflects, straight in the hands of Swallow. Did he keep it in play? He certainly slid a little bit, but the referee says ball did stay in. That's another good little attempt from us. Nice wee pass for Rio, opens it up. And it's not the worst idea in the world for the Tunisian. Just cuts inside, tries to fire a shot, takes a slight deflection, I think, off of, I think it was Halkett there that time. I can't say there's been anything too bad to say about the opening stint. Pretty calm from us so far. Good for McGregor, just lays it in his space, trust it. Goes for like an outside switch, that's not too bad at all actually, but it's always going to be hard to see that one stick. That's a good pass in, Maeda cuts it back. There was a chance there, and this is the disadvantage of having that one less in the middle part of the park, but well, that's actually a really good hold up play, good work between on there. Benji under pressure, cuts it back. Trusty should just slow that one down, see if he can find any open options. We did really well in the last stream, by the way. We made like a decent push towards 1800. I think we're like 6 or 7 off it right now. So kind of while we're in a little bit of a stale patch of the game, if you don't mind, please consider subscribing. Best thing you can do to help the channel out if you haven't already. And if you have, just like the stream. Keeps us in the algorithm and all that good jazz. Honors played it short. That could have been awkward as fuck to be fair, but we got away with that one. And this is the thing with the slippy pitch, you're just going to lose your feet if you run too fast, too hard. That's a good deflected clearance actually, it could break out in our favour. Break down that left hand side, Tenecti's got it. But again, just takes a heavy touch and the surface is killing a lot of the chances here. But we've managed to retain the ball. Oh, dances in towards the midfield, still just wandering. Tries to lay it off to Casper the Friendly Ghost, I think. He just got mixed up there, I guess. Then Sforro can just once on it and book it up at his own pace. Should have done a bit better there, man. Just need to get one or two clear-cut chances off. But Hearts are certainly having a tough time trying to figure out the layout of this team. Again, it's kind of hard to tactically prepare for a formation that you're not really 100% sure of. You can only really predict so much when a new manager comes in, because they could keep the old system until they figure out what's best for them, but Nancy's no fucking about. Been here a couple of days and got the team playing a whole different style of football. It'll be interesting to see how it goes over the 90 minutes, but for the first 15, not miserably bad. But it's kind of like a gear track almost. Like whenever you have one of the centre backs push up, you'll kind of have one of the false wingers, so to speak, whether that be Arn or Benji, kind of drop in to cover those loose bits of space. It just means there's always like a fluid triangle somewhere on that part that you can rely for an easy pass, and it's working out because it's keeping Hearts quiet. They're aware that they can't engage the press now, so they're being smart about it too. They know they don't want to burn themselves out, they'd rather preserve their energy, so it's just about minimal damage right now. They try and scoop that one forward, but trusting Tierney and Scales should sort out between them. Yep. Popped into Rio and Rio pops out to Trusty. That's nice. Good calm football, that. Looks like we're trying to look for Trusty's pass use a bit more. Maybe Nancy's seen a long ball type system. You could have switches over towards Tenecti because he is staying penciled out on that far side. There's exactly as I say that, Tierney goes for the pass and it works out. The Tunisian's got to it. It's a case of what he does when he gets it. Gets towards a byline, takes a deflection, corner kick it is, not too bad. I think it was Steinwender that did some blocking on that far side there. Solid work for the Jambos to keep that one clear and, more importantly, out the 6-yard box. Some games just work like that again. You get games where there's, you know, about 100 odd people in, so chat's relatively fast paced, and then times where you'll get maybe 1 or 2 comments every 5 minutes. I don't mind it too much. That's a good ball into the box. Actually, that could have been dangerous. Still could be, depending on who gets there first. Tierney knocks it on. Rio somehow manages to stave off the challenge. Gets taken down a second time. Referee says no thank you, not interested. Braga manages to get it through some bodies. Another 1 or 2, 3 challenges. Referee isn't giving anything, so fair enough. At least if he's being consistent, can't argue with it. Well, fouls flying in all over the place there, but hey, don't mind it too much. You know this game's going to get physical at times. Played out towards Tenecti again. Good feet for the wee man. Love to see that arm. Laid back towards McGregor. Chinazian gets it again. Just probably lays it back. This is what I'm saying. You've got Trusty basically playing on the left hand side of the defence now. Tierney on the right. So they're rotating those two and keeping Scale central. Actually smart. Because you've got Tierney that's able to kind of whip them in across the box if he's down the left hand side, or curl them in if he's on the right. And Trustees can use both his feet, so it's not the worst tactic in the world. Well, that's high praise, Kev. Thank you very much. There's actually really good feet there as well. Could go for a switch. Might have to go for a switch. There's not many options. Opts to lay it back for the skipper instead. The 1-2 passing is fantastic at times. You've got to give his credit there. That was lovely. Played out left side again. Tries to dance into the box. It'll be a case of can they keep it in. Referee says yes. Okay, fair enough. And also have a chance to break out from the back. Good passing from them there. Devlin can't shift the ball. It's poorly given away again, actually. Celtic might have a half chance. It takes a big deflection corner kick again. They're throwing themselves in the way. Give them credit where it's due. Very solid shift there from all fronts. Defensively for Hearts and attackively from us. Or attacking from us, I should say. What the fuck, man? Attackively is not a word. Might be now. I've just reinvented it. There's a bit about him. Yeah, he's chasing down loose balls a bit more openly. I think it's because he's got that freedom to rotate between him and Yang. You've noticed that with Yang as well, he's trying to kind of funnel down that right hand side every now and then, but most of the time he's on the left and behind Tenecte, but he just keys them open options. How you doing, guys? Nice to see me. I didn't even see you there, my bad. Probably okay from us so far. More or less one-way traffic. Hearts haven't done too much to really give us that much of a defensive test, but attack-wise we've been okay. Can't really argue with it too much. There's a foul there for hands on bodies. Our trustees getting manhandled. Apparently it's also a foul against him, so that's fantastic. Ah, it's getting the yellows. And to be fair, I like it as well, Caden. Don't get me wrong, it's cool whenever you have like hundreds of viewers. I've had streams as high as 600-700 before, but I don't mind it as long as it's engaging, you know what I mean? It's a bit different if I sit there for 20 minutes and there's no chats coming through, because then I have nothing to bounce off of or, you know, ask questions to. Very kind words, chaps. Thank you very much. New managers, players have to prove themselves. So yeah, they basically have a clean slate to fight for positions. There's some players that are obviously, you know, locked in. It'd be hard not to include them in the team. But the kind of looser threads, like your Balagwishas and your Yangs, yeah, they will absolutely have a bit more fire about them. Alan knows that because the midfield's going to be over-encompassed, there's not going to be too many options there, so he might have to kind of learn and adapt, do what he did out at Augsburg and play more on that right hand side a bit more. And to be fair, it's working so far. 20 minutes into the game, like I said, Hearts have not really had too many flurries or ventures into the box, which is fine for us. Celtic have had more of the ball, more of the chances, more of the control just in general. I've got to say, either one of these teams are playing like they're deserved champions right now. It's not the team in maroon. But they are a team that only needs 1 or 2 chances to get themselves into the game, so I don't want to speak ill of them. Nah, well said, guys, well said. There was some pretty interesting conversations going on last night. I seen them in the Discord when I got back later last night. I'd just pure seen the discussion. Apparently Rangers had some pretty interesting calls again, so I had to go and watch them and find out what the fuck was happening. Wild ass game. Still think it'd be hard to argue the fact that Rangers deserve to win it, to be honest, but yeah, 1 or 2 more dodgy calls. It's getting a bit common now. This league really needs to figure out what the fuck it's doing with VAR for sure. Hard one to predict today. Damn right, my guy. A new system under Wilfred will need time, but let's back him to the hill. Exactly that. 2-0. Great minds think alike, my guy. Great minds think alike. It's exactly what I'm thinking as well. Speaking of chances, there might be one coming up here. That's it was the right idea, but just maybe that little miscommunication. Right idea for the Belgian, can't argue with it, but it's the second time he's just kind of openly overhit a pass. Don't know why you're pulling paper out in the Glasgow rain, bro. That's going to fucking... The ink is just going to evaporate on that paper. Watchalong sends us as far forward as he can muster it. Tries to get it forward to his Greek partner, doesn't necessarily work out. There's a bundle in the box as well. I think Devlin just got decked. There's a break forward, Milner. under pressure, and a lot of it Celtic fucking attacking in 2s and 3s. This is the advantage of the winger system, because they can't make mistakes, and if they do, they only have 1 or 2 touches before they're fully pressed. And could have worked out there. Maeda was right on that boy's ass. Very calm for Finlay get that back in time. I said, as much as you want to say that most of the praise goes Celtic's way, got to give Hearts their credit, man. They're defending well. That's about the only thing you can say for them so far, but you know, you've got to be optimistic. McInnes's sides aren't necessarily known for being fun to watch. They're pragmatic, they're gritty, and they get the job done. That's about the extent of it. Watching games in Australia, oh mate, I don't even disagree with that, man. See, like your AFL referees, man, I love the way that they actually, like, on field will explain why they're giving a card, or why they're doing that, or why they're sending it. Just little tweaks like that. You've seen that they've started to try and work it in with Premier League games, haven't they? Where they've kind of included it, especially in the bigger stadiums that can afford it, like the communication systems where the referee will explain, you know, there was contact, so penalty, you know, that type of shit. Do that in Scotland and see how fucking often they have to stutter over their words to try and find an excuse as to why they've given a call that shouldn't have been a call. Just be funny for the goddamn bits. Did you see the Celtic women's team? Man City, was it fucking, what was it, like half time? Was it 7-8-0? I seen it at half time, or like just after it, maybe, like one of those like loose tweets that you see. But they won 14 at full time. Good for them, man. Fucking excellent. Cannot fault that in the slightest. Also haven't tested this yet. Yeah, they don't have to though. Realistically, they would probably take a point away at Celtic Park. I don't think they would argue with that too much. Negrin, you shouldn't have swung at your man there. It's going to be a foul on us. Some people do like just the pastry though, Pedro, that's the issue. I'd say it's more or less like, you know, cheesy chips minus the cheesy bit. It's like, sure, chips are fine, but it's going to be a bit stale after a while if that's all you got. You want to add some flavour to it, the Green Brigade are the ones that kind of add that spice. That's a good touch. Lovely Tenecte run at him, mate. Solid for the... Oh, really solid for the wee man. Good fucking shift. He's running his heart out, man. He's trying to earn his stripes. That's a lovely ball out towards the... Well, I say stripes. Technically, it should be hoops. He's trying to earn his hoops. Ball. Cross. Not bad. Touch. Could bounce anywhere. Maeda might just body his man up. Yeah, and try and force it out for a corner. I like that wee man. That's really solid. Oh, Roland, you're on a face. Nice to see you, my guy. You get wee like stars that could pop up, and then that's cool. First time I hear this is by far a better way to hear the game without the juvenile sound of the pundits. I'm doing this by accident, and I commend your calmness and insight. Oh, that's very calm. I love to see that, my guy. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's why most people watch this. I swear a lot. That's the trade-off with me. I do actually know what I'm talking about to some degree. That's fuck. Yes, hold on, chance maybe. Nah. There was an opportunity there. If Maeda had just stepped in a little bit, he could have opened up the space for Negrin just to kind of dance through, but I think they got lost in translation there, and in fact it's allowed the midfield to kind of coalesce and allow Hearts to break out right hand side. They've got space, and they intend on using it. It's Caceres, that's calm. Lead back across for Steinwinder, and he'll just switch out far side. Got to say, Finley's having a lot more touches of the ball than he would probably like. Milner played inside. Lovely 1-2 pass. Break down that left hand side is open here. There could be a ball into space. It's a good, really good block for Tierney. He had to get something in the way. Otherwise, it seems like it would have been a simple run on for Lawrence Shanklin just to kind of at least have a crack at net, and a very open crack at net. Was he onside? He would have been onside, so it's a really good block for Tierney in that case. Nice to see you, Eddie. Hope you're well. You're not even wrong, Virtual, that's the thing. Like, I know because of the way that the pitch is probably a lot more slick, like we've discussed it, there'll be a lot more kind of looser challenges that the referee will probably have to just let go. This is the thing, set pieces. Apparently Hearts are one of the best in the league at doing this. Well, saying that, there's not many teams that have scored 30 plus goals, so it's not the greatest ball in, but it could still be dangerous depending on how it scuffs off the surface. Not particularly too threatening, Celtic might just find a way to push this up the park. Yep. You should have just cleared that one. Bit silly on, but not going to argue with it too much. Switched far side again. Hearts are looking to move it left to right as often as possible. They are not comfortable going down the midfield area of the park at all. They'll try to cut it out if they can. Really good pass and play there. Shanklin does well to kind of get it out towards space. Looks like it came off the Hearts man last now. Kenny's not going to be too happy about him, and it did come off him. Hard to argue otherwise. I think that's a bit too high praise. There are very good Celtic channels that do a lot more heavy lifting and good work than I do. I'm probably the most realistic one, I guess. I'm not biased in the sense that I just do. So sometimes I know when to take the, green tinted specs off. Oh, here we go. Potential. Maybe. Can't argue with it too much. Ah, speak of the devil and his shall arrive, Roland, welcome man. Thank you for joining us, that's camp. Puts us not too far off 1800 now, and it could be fucking leading to a goal. Hold on. Vibes. Elite vibes, potentially. Have a crack. Does have a crack when it was always going to sail over. Can't fault it again. The Belgians just maybe not as effective in the final third as you would like to be in the opening half an hour of this match, but tell you what, not a bad wee attempt at all. It's always going to be hard to kind of keep it down. Again, the way it bobbled up off the surface just as he had it became more of a half volley than a straightforward shot. Goes with the territory, don't fucking right. That's high praise, my boy, thank you very much. The thing is, most people in this community are calm as fuck. We have Rangers fans that come in, Gaz is one of them. We have a few different people for different walks of life. Very cool, can't argue with that. For some reason we have Canadians and Australians now. It's just even better. I like to watch a guy sitting here at his computer, man. Fascinating stuff. You love to see. That's a good. It should be a fucking throw in. They were trying to appeal it was there somehow. I wouldn't have understand how in any fucking shape. Unless Maeda has a caperial leg. We just need some open chances. In terms of the football, can't argue with the way we've played. Hearts have grown into the game a tiny bit more here and there, but again, in terms of outright chances, they're having pretty much the same issue we are. That is a loose ass pass, and yeah, they're just going to give away a silly throw in. Don't think Harry will be too pleased with that one. That's his name, right? It's Harry, right? Well, speak of the Canadian, he shall arrive. What's happening, shitto? Hi there, my guy. Hope you're well. Hope you're safe and sound, and the weather's treating you well out there. Does Kettle still come? Every now and then, my guy. It's the ones that pop in every now and then. Back when I had like under 200, whenever I see one of those, it's like nostalgia. I'm like, no way, man. Nice. There we go. There's some football. Got the offload and run there from Yang. That's a good pass up to space. Tierney's. How the fuck is that in advance? Bro, you need to give a foul for that. It's just a straight up shoulder barge. Referee ain't fucking interested, so Celtic will just have to win the ball back, which, to be fair, Trostian's skills do an absolute masterclass of doing. Ball forward, Dyson. That's a really good first touch, and an equally good second to open up space. McGregor sees the open pass, but can't take it because there's just a late run back for Braga there to cut it out. Caceres drops back to help on that far side, but Celtic are dancing forward. Ball into the box, could be on here. Lovely touch for Yang, but he's going to be forced into an awkward position. Tries to clear it, didn't necessarily work out. Calm enough though. Oh. Yeah, he's brilliant when he isn't in the final third. It's like a red zone anytime he just drops into it. It's like his stats half. He's damn good, 100% now. His pressing's good to see. It just needs to get the ball under control a wee bit better. Again, he's just struggling the same way that others are. That's case in point, man. It's just because he keeps scuffing up the surface. Negrin almost played in a beautiful ball and behind towards Dyson on the run there, but same kind of issue. It just misjudges the power that he should put on it, and it fucking goes. It's basically going off the ground like a snooker ball. I feel like if you put it on the ground and spun it, it would go for a wee while, actually. That's a good pass. Lovely shifting move. That's a great ball in behind if Maeda can beat his man to it. Equally good defending. Guy Hart's credit there. That was crucial. Apparently it's a foul for them, though. I don't agree with that, but fair enough. Finlay did well. Ah, no you didn't, Schneb. Is it all the regulars are putting in there? Good to see you as well, brother. Hope you're well. It's pissing down, and we're still the reigning champions. That is a still game sentence if I've ever fucking heard it, man. But that was a yellow card offence, alright, fair enough. I mean, you've let a lot go, ref. That's kind of surprising that's the yellow. That's amazing. I'm loving the protective work that Tenekte is doing down that left hand side. On as well. Good fucking shift, big man. That's better. Like I said, if he's not in the final 30, he's goated. Look at that, man. Chased his man back, got his body in the way, stopped Caceres from getting in behind. That's fucking excellent work for you, man. Speaking of things that are just excellent, there's Liam Scales, plays it out towards Trustit. Could find any open space down the central area, might just pop it in towards Maeda, does. Yep, 1-2 passing around that kind of triangle down the right hand side. McGregor's slotted in just to help them out with the extra man. Trusted, yeah, you might as well just run in, mate. They've just given you the space. Yeah, there we go. Back man, he's seen it. That's a pull in the back, yeah. Looks like the referee's going to be pulling out a card now because it's literally just the same man that Yang got yellow carded for. Rinse and repeat. He does leave a leg dangling and then kind of grabs him. It's more of it's a two-pronged defence. Can't really argue with that one too much. Milner's in the book, yellow. How's the formation faring out? Is it working well enough? Are there any flaws? The main flaw is simply due to the basics of the layout. I would say it's more or less the fact that we can't do as much in the midfield. A lot of our attacks are going to have to come down the flanks, and the issue right now is that our flanks aren't exactly stacked out. So you've got midfielders that are playing naturally out of position, and Arm's doing a terrific job. I can't fault it at all, but if you're wanting to play this formation all the time, you're definitely going to need that extra bit of depth. But in terms of what we're seeing so far, it's allowed the defenders to open up their space and show off their creativity, so it's allowing players like Tierney and Trusty to go for longer range passes, and more importantly it's allowing Scales to stay set in his position, because the one thing we've always said about Scales is that he can get caught with a ball over the top. So if he's just locked in to play as that anchor centre back, it doesn't happen. And Hearts have not really been able to use that over the top ball anywhere near as effectively, because you've always got 2, 3, 4 bodies that can cover any specific part of the park, just because we can drop Tenekte or Yang, whoever's, you know, available down those flanks. That's why I like the fact that you're seeing Arn and Yang rotate a lot. There's a chance for Hearts into the box though. Case in point, you've always got 4 or 5 bodies that can just get in the way, and we do a good enough job to clear that one. Fucking hell. I don't want to speak it into existence. Now Celtic try to break away. That should be a foul, yeah. There's a complaint from McKenty, but he did drag his man down. It's pretty straightforward, right? did he? I want to confer, I don't want to say if he had. No, yeah, he does. He comes across and grabs him by the shoulder on the way down. It's pretty straightforward. Well, the rain's getting heavier and so are this degree of challenges. You're just sitting in your LFC pages with a fire on. Ah, you're Scottish, Kate, and you're wild to survive it. Yeah, I don't disagree, Lizzie. I feel like that was more of a booking than the one that Milner got booked for. They're just starting to throw... I think it's because they realise that the fucking park is like a slip-in slide, so they're just sliding about the joint, man. Gotta love the chase down abilities, though. It is genuinely a virtual... I'm in agreement with you in that sense. It is quite fascinating to see how we open up space at times. I don't think it's a bad way that we're playing. It's just, again, the players are going to have to get used to the way the system works, so that's going to come with its own additional issues. Let's be honest, but for our first game and going up against I don't know, an equal calibre of opponent, let's say, at least in terms of domestic form right now, can't say there's been too many negatives to point towards. Schmeichel's not had much to do. Centre backs are showing off some good creative freedom. The only thing, like I said, is the midfield's going to be a bit more condensed and coalesced, so they're going to have problematic issues there at times, especially if there's injuries towards kind of more major players like Rio or, more importantly, McGregor. Hopefully see any actually. It'd be nice to see him come off. I'd imagine if we did that, then it would probably be to push Maeda to the left, take someone like Tenekte or Yang or whoever's probably the most tired off. Plus, any actual can technically play as a winger, so pretty much getting there, spot on. Kenny's on the bench as well, yeah. Got some good options. Have we had well, we've had a few shit shots if that qualifies for a question, Kev. But we have had shots on target, yeah. The keeper's had to make 1 or 2 saves, but mostly from deflected efforts. Like I said, as good as Celtic have been, Hearts defensively have been quite impressive at times. It's hard to argue with it. There's a reason why they don't concede many goals. It's quite obvious based on their setup. They're aggressive, don't get me wrong, so you have that. You got Billy Wishaw on the bench as well. You've got options, like I said, it's just the fact we don't have great depth on either side. Striker wise, we're getting there. Jota's due to be back in the next few weeks, which is good to see. Well, you need to keep in mind, this isn't even a full strength side. We've still got Johnston out injured, Carter Vickers out injured, Jota's still out injured. I think once you get all those key pieces back, could be interesting. Also try clean that was a... I mean, he's literally shouting at the referees who runs past him. Schmeichel doesn't waste any time, punts that bitch as far forward as he can muster it, fantastic. Oh, let's swing at it, Tierney's just going to have to gather that one, yeah. Sends it high and... oh wait, I guess, right, I've in doubt, I suppose, that's the way I have to look at it. Things you'll love to see, Kev. If you want Nancy to do what he did with Columbus Crew, you need to get much better players. I literally just discussed how we have a bunch of players that are injured. We also have like 75 million in surplus funds that we can spend if we need to. Plus, there is no way you're trying to convincingly tell me that Columbus Crew is a better squad than Celtic. Come on, man. The only half-decent player you've had in the last few years, if you are genuinely like a Hingy fan, is probably like... oh, that's going to be a foul. No, referee says no. That's another deflection. Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course that's going to stay in as well. Cross. Cleared up my way by Scales. Headed back, and he's got to be offside there. Surely he's offside there. Referee says no for now. But flag stays down. They've got it. No, hold on. That has to be offside, man. Surely. Fuck off. There's no way he's on. I'd be very surprised if it is. That should not stand. Schmeichel's got his arms up. I mean, I'm pretty sure every Celtic defender's got their arms up because he looks like he's about 20 miles off there. We'll need to see the replay when it comes into the box, first of all. But it looks like it's off. There's no way it should fucking stand, right? Let's have a gander. Oh, he is on. Fuck off. Oh, because of the delayed run back, man. That's so poor. I think it's on that keeps him level because he just doesn't run back in time. That's the issue. That's the issue. Oh, fuck off, man. It is so... He's on by the scruff of his neck. It's so irritating, man. I don't know why the fuck he is so far out of line with every other defender, but there is a solid, like, 6 yards between him and the nearest man. That's pathetic, man. Jesus Christ. And despite being the better team for the whole fucking half, we fucked it again. Wow, that's incredible. Right, Nancy, time to show your stuff, big man. Time to fire up the man management side of it. Fucking ridiculous. That is genuinely Hearts' real first opportunity, and it's the positioning is so fucking vile there. Just one guy being switched off for a half second and stoating back rather than stepping out as fast as possible. Oh, that's disappointing. Well, second half's going to need to be good now. We are a second half team. That's the one thing I will say. For how much we talked up on as well, that's so disappointing. Just go at them, boys. All you can really do. Switched far and wide. Dinecti just before the 45th hits. Ball across is potentially dangerous, but similar to a lot of the balls into the box, just no real end product to additional minutes to be played. Definitely against the run of play is the nicest way to say it. But it's like I said to you about 10-15 minutes ago, Hearts only really need 1 or 2 chances. It's the advantage of going up against a new formation is that you can get caught out cold sometimes, and that was just one individual mistake that didn't help us out. We go into the box though, could bounce around in our favour. Still dangerous, overlapping pass, surely we have to get a shot off here. Stop taking the extra fucking touch, lads. It's just, you're wasting so much time there. Rio taking the extra touch, Dinecti taking the extra touch. Motherfuckers, you should know how to shift and move. Like that, fantastic. Well done, Alan. McGregor pops it out. Maeda does the same. Learn from that, lads. You've got to 1-2 touch this and get the fucker up the park. Ball in behind. There's space there for Tierney. Ball in isn't half bad, but it's cleared out quite comfortably in the end by Halkett. I believe that'll Devlin one of the two of them and drop back. Negrin has been very poor. That's what happens when you play a centre attacking midfielder as a right winger. It's just not going to make sense after the time. Like I said, the thing with Nancy's formation is he's going to need a few players back from fitness, and more importantly, a couple of signings ideally in January to give extra depth to those specific parts of the park. Let's see what happens in the second half. Exactly like Crowtails. We just need to take it on the chin, realise that it wasn't a particularly great goal from Hearts, it was just a myriad of mistakes. Jesus Christ, lads, you need to dig that away. It's getting a bit bouncy and 50-50 like here, not too ideal. The referee blows for half time, so there you go. I'm not really too sure how the fuck they're 1-0 up, but they are. Give them credit when it's due, I have no idea how. But they're showing that kind of grit and grind mentality. Like I said, that's a McInnes side down to a fucking T. It's literally them in a nutshell. They don't necessarily need to be good to win sometimes. And Celtic have played alright, but again, no real crystal clear cut chances, and that might be the difference maker so far. Just don't understand why we let that man, like, why did he fucking stay so far back behind the other defensive line, man? Silly sausage syndrome, that's what we'll call that. Hearts haven't been in it, but they've really took their chance. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much Hearts in a nutshell this season. Even in games where they shouldn't have picked up points, they've been able to score late or grab 90-plus minute winners, whatever it may be. Like, they've rode the luck at times, even in that goal there. The fucking deflection that gets the ball to run down the byline and it somehow stays in, that's luck number one. Luck number two is on, switching off for 5 fucking milliseconds. And it allows Braga just to peel on. Disappointing in that aspect, but again, it's not a team error, it's an individual error, so, we'll shake it off at half time, I'd imagine. It's just, again, the weather conditions aren't helping at all with the way that Celtic play with the ball on the ground in comparison to Hearts that tend to play it with height, so they don't have to worry about too much when it comes to bounces or weird skiffs. But if Celtic are trying to play it low, the amount of times in that half, anyone that's watching alongside, how many times did Arn or Nygren play a ball in behind that looked like they just tapped it but would absolutely fucking, Mach 10 off their ass? The speed in the ball is incredible at times. So they need to get the ball under control, especially in the midfield, like I said, because that's where Hearts are doing their damage with the long balls forward. Keep them quiet there, and yeah, they can't really do much. But the one or two times where they have got into those spaces, yeah, problematic things have happened, so who knows? Has Bernardo lost a leg or something? He never gets a chance now. I think because of the fact that you've already got, is he better than Rio? No. Is he better than McGregor? Probably not. And you can't take your captain out of the team, especially when you've already taken an extra midfielder out the formation. Like, if we're playing with a 4-3-3, yeah, this would be a perfect time to get someone like Bernardo on. He'd be physical enough to kind of give Devlin, say someone like a Steinweider defensively some problems, but that's if that choice is made. So, yeah, and even then, most managers tend to prefer McCowan anyway in that type of role over Bernardo, because obviously Scottish international, you want to prioritise your own national players, right? So there's that factor too. But Bernardo's he's an under-23 Portugal captain for a reason. He's a good fucking player, so if there's some tired legs, if Rio starts dropping his head, I'd say go for him, get Bernardo on and see what fucking happens. Your prediction was 2-1, pretty fuck him, right? Well, there you go. You've got the hard part out of the way. You've got the joy and revelation of a comeback, which, to be fair, we've had to do once or twice over the last few weeks. But we did it against Feyenoord and won 3-1, so if we can do it against them, we can do it now. I do agree with that though, Ariel. We need the Green Brigade back at some point. They did, to be fair. I don't know how the fuck Kettlewell's still on the job, to be honest. Would you look at that? I've received an email. Hold on. I should actually check to see how many. Oh, we actually gained 2. We gained 2 subscribers. Fantastic. If we get somehow 5 in the next hour or so of streaming, then we're at 1800. Fantastic. Life is good. What gives them any right to ban the Beijing group? Well, unfortunately they own the club, so they can, technically. However, they're spineless bastards and everyone knows it. They could have just banned the ones that, showed up and threatened them, like a normal fucking board does, but I guess they want to just send the message that they don't like the Green Brigade because the Green Brigade don't like the board. Do you want to know what it just reminds me of? Like, see if you go back to, like, the fucking, like, the Great Depression or whatever, like, back when miners and all that were a big thing. Like, do you know how, like, your fucking miners' unions? It's like that. It's like, you can band together against them all the fuck you want, but they can literally just be like, cool, we're docking your wages and fuck off home, you're fired. Then what? Like, all your protesting's for nothing. It's just, you've got to be smart about it, so threatening them is dumb as shit. If you want to hurt them with their wallets. Just don't buy anything. That's why there's that whole, don't buy anything besides a match day ticket thing going on right now, because, yeah, that's how you hurt them. Not with physical violence. It's dumb as shit. Or people did. People absolutely did. You threaten a man's life, it's yeah. They've definitely blown a lot of shit out of proportion, though. That much I will fucking say. I hate seeing that goal back, man. It's just such a sloppy goal, man. Like, McGregor doesn't even really do the greatest justice of getting it away. I'm pretty sure Milner tried to shoot it first as well. That was just the definition of a scrappy ass FIFA goal. Can't argue with that, guys. Can't argue with that. Silver linings and all that jazz. The support of Celtic are more than bold. Exactly. No, you're not definitely not wrong, Pedro. Football without the fans is nothing. It's that straightforward. If the fans stop showing up to the games, then what's the point in the club existing? That's how some clubs just disappear. I'm just saying that there's some people in the Green Brigade that need to go about it a bit smarter, because fuck me, there's some silly sausages on both fronts. The board are a bunch of, you know, I don't even need to say, everyone knows. Penny pinchers. Yeah, pretty much what I'm kind of thinking as well, kid. Take the individuals out the problem, but the Green Brigade itself, most of them genuinely care about the club about 60,000 times more than Peter Law will ever will. Peter Law sees it as an outsourcing income. We see it as a way of life. There's the difference, right? And again, people know Flash. For anyone that's new here, we have a moderator who's currently at the Celtic and Hearts game. He's known as Flash. He's in the Green Brigade, so trust me when it comes to inside information, I can tell you firsthand that they ain't happy about the situation any more than the board are, but the board are doing it the complete wrong fucking way. And again, they've made the right call trying to get a new manager in, but is it a manager that's going to hit the ground running? Right now, problematic, because Hearts have not really got out of anything past second gear and we're somehow 1-0 down. We have been the better side, we played the better football, but just tweaking things that you don't need to tweak. You know, it's that old saying, don't fix what isn't broken, and Martin O'Neill's system was perfect. It worked for the boys. They knew what they were doing, and all of a sudden it's, right now we're playing with 3 at the back. You're like, why? What the fuck's the point in that? There's no reason. We're known for not being defensively sound. We're going to take an extra man out for some reason. It's like, I get it, but I don't. I understand that Nancy has to play a certain way, but he needs to learn that it's not another MLS, man. You have to actually adapt the tactics in the right way, and that includes not playing centre mids as wingers. Just doesn't make sense. So he's fucked in that sense until January, until they can get signings, and it's going to be problematic in that sense. But again, once you do have those little pieces, the puzzle might just click, and it might just be an unsteady 2-3 months until we get everything set up in the right way, and then we kick on. Maybe by then the board actually puts their money where their mouth is. That calms down a lot of people in the Green Brigade. The Green Brigade in turn start kind of showing up in force and actually not making every tifo about how we can say fuck the board in a different way. You know, that type of thing. Like, you need unison, right, on all fronts, and I think that's the issue. Yeah, as you said there, Crow, you're pretty much spot on. The board better spend at least 10 million. Hopefully more. I'd say about 15 to 20 would be respectable, depending if we let anyone leave. If we let someone like Maeda leave, for instance, because there's obviously all those rumours going around, we need to fucking replace him. It's not a case of bringing a youngster that might work. It's no, we need someone that's calibre proven and fucking good immediately to come in and replace a player of his calibre. It's the same if we lose someone like a Rio or whoever else. You want to replace those with similar, if not better level players. We can't just look down. You missed the first half. To summarise it, MK, I'll pretty much, you know, I'll summarise it in brass tacks. Better team, we somehow fucked it anyway. But that's about it, man. There's not really too much else to say. You know, Hearts took their one chance, realistically, their one shot on target, which is kind of disappointing. But again, Celtic tend to be a second half team. We tend to kick on and do what's necessary in those stints, so hopefully it's a similar case for today. We would need it, but we weren't that convincing, so we need to get more crystal clear shots. If we can do that, then at the very least I feel like more people will be confident. If we get a goal early in the second half, then fantastic, we can kind of kick on to that point, but the longer it goes without a goal, the more problematic it is. A point isn't necessarily bad, but you want to win these types of games and kind of stamp that authority, because it means if you win your game in hand, boom, you've immediately reversed a 6-point sweep. This game is technically worth 6 points to Hearts, because if they lose it, they know exactly what happens in the next game, because if we beat Hearts, then we've got the confidence to go and beat whoever else. Right, Hearts are the only caveat for us this season. We've got a revenge against Dundee. We need to try and figure out a way to get it against Hearts. They're the two teams that beat us this season. Hopefully Captain Cal will score another. I mean, it would be fantastic if he does. Just picks it up for the inside his own fucking box, runs to the other one and just punts it in full speed, 90 miles an hour. You can just imagine what McGregor's probably doing. He just gets in a half time, he's like, right lads, just get the ball to me and I'll hit it for like 35. I ain't got no worries about the man, I'll hit it full speed, no worries. Like, Tenecte, mate, you stop doing these shitty wee step overs and actually just cut it in, man. He just looks at Maeda and goes, like, just gives him like the fucking samurai nod, and Maeda just gives him the nod back. Like, you need to fucking lock in, mate. A quick goal would be ideal though, Eddie, 100%. Are we done for likes? Can someone update me on that? Have we hit the 20? We usually aim for 20 in these types of streams. If we have, then fantastic. We're on to a winner. If not, then would you kindly consider doing so? Right, let me throw a question to you. If we're making changes, who do you consider being those changes? I mean, you've got options. Like, I actually should probably do this for those that are kind of doobie one to see. There's the bench. Obviously, I'm not really going to worry too much about Sinisal. You've got other options there. If you're looking at those names, who do you consider? 24. Fantastic. Well, we've already hit the league goal then. If we can get to 30 by the end of the stream, then that's fantastic. Oh, that's my brother in Crow. How you doing, Joe? Nice to see me. Just awakened and not happy. Yeah, yeah. The goal we conceded was like at the epitome of like FIFA in the 91st minute when it just wants you to lose. One of those types of goals. But we have been pretty good, Jordan, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Nancy can't really blame his tactics. It was just on not getting back in time for a... It would have been an easy offside decision if he was lined up with everyone else, but unfortunately he was just a bit too slow. So second half syndrome has to kick into full effect, and hopefully we do that. That's the minimum. Go back to the stats. We kick in half in about 2-3 minutes, give or take anyway. So we've got a bit of time. How you doing anyway, brother? This is my music friend, that Carlson boy. He's a top bloke. He was just in Tunisia, ironically enough, the homeland of Tenecte. Scott Brown just sitting there with his hands pure interlocked, man. Just sitting there like this. You could tell by the way he's sitting, he's like, man, just get me a fucking strip and get me on that picture now and I'll start throwing hands about. Although the one thing I can actually say, for the first 45 minutes, the referee wasn't horrible. He made some dodgy decisions, sure, but he was at least consistent, so... Maybe there's hope. I can't wait for that to fucking backfire and shoot me straight in the back of the head when the 95th minute rolls around. It's one each and they fall over outside the box and someone get a penalty for it. If that happens, I will throw hands. Well, skipper is out. And the boys are ready to play. We need you to get your arses into 4th or 5th gear and kick the fuck out of these boys. I know, it's incredible, Caden. It's a sentence I never thought I'd say. That is not a good foreboding image, seeing Nancy sitting in the pissing rain just staring at the camera like this. Bro's going through it, he's like, I am French, why am I sitting here in this weather? This shit sucks. Wonder what he was saying to them at half time, man. Hey, listen boys, just go out there and don't absolutely fuck it, please. It would suck. Stop being shit. Oh, a good second half is definitely required. Are you saying by accident, or are you doing like a longest yard thing where you deliberately aimed them? Either way, it's hilarious. Right, football time. Let's get some fucking goals, boys. Score some fucking goals, England. Let's go, come on. Some football to be played, that'd be nice. Trusty, first thing that he does is dance forward. Fantastic to see it for you, big man. Do that a lot more. McGregor gets it in behind and immediately we're looking to go forward. McGregor just doesn't gather that one. Milner will body block him and just fire it up the line. Fucking excellent step in. There's some problematic half shouts from the crowd there for a potential foul for Celtic. Wasn't given. Rio does fucking excellently. Cut that out with the speed on that actually. Ball in. Lovely. Maeda. Touch. Excellent. Like, the way we're playing is not bad at all. Cannot argue with it in the slightest. McGregor goes for the... could have gone for the inside switch, opts to just lay it outside instead for Trusty, who's more or less a right back now. Bit of miscommunication there, but McGregor gets out towards his Scottish counterpart in Tierney. Up towards Tenekte. Good run. Could find options here. He's got lots of fucking space. Nice. Lays it back. Tierney. Whipped cross. Not too bad. Cleared out first real sign of danger for the Jambos there. They do well. Give them credit. Might not be pretty, but you'll win. Maybe. It's literally just showing second half goals conceded. Hearts and Celtic are the two best defensive teams in the second half. Rangers are surprisingly in there at 4th. Falkirk get 10. Credit to Falkirk, man. Doing alright. But I like Motherwell. Motherwell are having a really good season and I'm happy for them, man. They were long overdue one. That Askell's got some good tactics. I'm sure everyone's had an embarrassing story with a referee. If you've done any type of underleague shit, oh, that's a loose ass pass. Well, silly giveaway, it has to be said. Maeda engages the chase down. You got to get there first, yeah. Lads, you don't just need to punt out to the byline every single time. You can't pass it into the space, you know. There we go, Trusty. Good stuff, big man. He's a well. Scales, nice pass. Oh, it's a poor giveaway though. Do not fuck this up for here. Fantastic. Good shit, Rio. Lovely pass. It's opened up space. Ball through for Maeda. He's going to be on his own, but we know we can hold up the ball relatively well. Does an excellent job. Rio gets out towards Tenekte. Potential chance, please. That is such a... It's the issue. It's the issue with the pitch. Tenekte just tries to lay it off because the fucking pitch is so slick. It just slides away, basically. The attack was nice. Can't fault the movement on it. Reggie did well to thread that through to Maeda. Maeda did excellent on the hold-up play. Rio, right idea. Tenekte just... yeah. It's like the third, fourth time we've seen that exact thing happen. You don't need to joke about it, MK. I think everyone in Scotland would agree with you. The weather is just fucking miserable here. It's known as the country of all 4 seasons in one day for a reason. Wouldn't surprise me if the sun's shining by the 60th minute. Ended up and away, calm enough. That's awkward. That's going to make it. Yeah, I trust he's going to have to head that back. Does a calm enough job. Schmeichel expels it out towards McGregor. Quickly dispersed by the skipper. Here's Trusty running down that far side, trying to find open lanes where he can. I respect it. Played out. Nice. That's calm. Good for McGregor. Opens it up. Tierney. To Tenecte. This time he cuts inside. Smart, big man. McGregor gets it on received. A lot of space there. The big deflection. Hearts do well to get one or two touches to make it awkward for Celtic to retain it, but retain it, Celtic do. Another potential pass down the left hand flank if we want to use it. Which we kind of do. McGregor skips away for his man, opens up lanes. Trusty's got an abundance of space to work with. Plays it out towards our right hand side. Cross is definitely going to come in here, not too bad. Takes a deflection. And Yang gets in front of his man to make it awkward. Trusty does well just to hold up, and then it's a throw in for us. We quickly play it, to be fair. We're trying to half appeal for a foul there, but honestly I didn't see what the fuck happened, so I can't say if it was or not. Connect it. Gets to the byline, dances in between, still has it, and that's a good step in right at the end, corner kick. No hesitation there for Hearts to get it clear. Nice wee pass through the legs there for Tenecte. The football ain't half bad. Celtic are doing what we can here. Got it in the box, played across, and again Hearts just punt it as far up and away as they can. You'd rather rain than the snow. It depends on what type of player you are, I guess. Oof, that's awkward. My head might get there though. He's right inside the danger area. Shot from Celtic. It's just not really well directed from Arm. Second time he sent it quite comfortably wide of the goal. But promising signs for Celtic. At least we're trying to get back into the game in some capacity. It's like the Everglades here. Fantastic. Swallow sends it forward. Let's see if Hearts can get something going on their end. It's been pretty much one-way traffic for the opening stint of this half. Just kind of what you would expect. Hearts might retain that one on a throw-in, they won't. Unless you're on Astro through, man. I think we're all in agreement with though, Lizzie. A goal for Celtic would be quite crucial. Especially in the next 10-15 minutes, it's ideal if we could do it in that time because it gives us time to build in the win-up. So the longer this goes on, the more awkward it could get, so Hearts will be aware of that. If they get to the 75th minute, they'll realise defending for at least a point isn't the worst case scenario. It's a good pass for Trusty. McGregor does well to pop it back into space. Lovely passing down that side between Benji and Yang. South Korean's going for it. Not a bad pass. Oh, he's still got it actually. Could still dance into the box. Gets to the byline. Good deflective clearance again for Swallow that time. We're getting into the box and causing chances. They're just not happening for us right now. Let's get a throw in that far side. Braga does well to kind of work a throw-in off that situation. I thought it was kind of obvious, kid. Oh, good feet. If he can dance away with it, he doesn't dance away with it. Instead, it's given away. Hearts may have a chance potentially to attack on their own ground here, but Tierney's done well. Tenecte should just stand his man up. Steinfinder's there to put pressure on him immediately, though. McGregor does fucking excellently to break away for about 3 or 4 of them. Ball sent forward. Maeda is on chase down. First touch is excellent. Second touch is just to hold up and allow the Celtic bodies to join in force in the counter-attack. Here's McGregor. 25 yards out for the goal. It's an overhit pass. Rio can't reach for it, and it's opened up some lanes here. It's an equally loose pass for Hearts though. Like I said, that the pitch is just not doing the greatest job of making low end passes easy. That's Cam. Love that. Far side, this time we've got some movement now. Some decent movement as well, actually. Played into space, takes a deflection. McGregor's got it for range. He might just have a hit. Does have a hit, and it's on target at least. It's something. It's probably one of the few times where the ball actually slows down before it gets to its final destination, which is in between the hands quite comfortably in the end by Swallow, it's got to be said, but there is that McGregor shot for range. It could have been problematic. I think he was hoping for the surface to do a bit more with the shot than that, but signs, at least, signs of life. Literally right on cue as you said that, Pedro. Good pressure there for Scales, pushes his man away, but it's just allowed them to get any space again. Go for a quick cross. That could be dangerous and awkward, but well cut out. McGregor takes the riskier pass, honestly. Trusty's going to have to... I don't understand any of that. Why the fuck did you just give that away so poorly? Chance for Hearts on the header. It's unfortunately not even close to dangerous. From Hearts' perspective, they'll be really angry at that, and fucking hell, mate, I can't control a simple displaced ball out towards them. Just mistakes all across there, man. Trusty giving the ball away for no real fucking reason. Tenecti not chasing back. Nobody kind of covers the loose run. Shanklin's cross isn't half bad. But thankfully the run on the far side was not too threatening in the end. And it's another Hearts throw. Looks like the first change under the Nanciera is going to be McCowan. He's the one warming up, so I guess, yeah, it's kind of like I said, you're going to prioritise the national players for the domestic league rather than going for someone like a Paulo Bernardo, which is kind of disappointing, but you could still potentially feature, who knows. Ball into the box is dangerous, it's overhit. It apparently was out of play, fair enough. Celtic opted to take it as fast as possible, try and look for a open push, but I don't even think some of the Celtic players were realising that the ball was in play. Eventually we got it going, trust it. 1-2 passing between him and I think Yang now. I like that for Trusty, he's kind of going forward as long as Hearts allow him to. Nice for Rio, cuts it back towards the American. Close to 2/3 of this game gone, and it's a very confusing scoreline, it's got to be said. Hooked up and awkward. Tenecti does well to chest it down, really well to chest it down. Stole away by Hearts and they'll keep it in. Play just about guess out for a throw in, actually, Cam for him. Suppose it's the better option if you're a defender, you'd rather defend a throw in than a corner. Looks like those changes are going to come into effect now, and it's definitely McCowan that's coming on for Benji Boy, which is, yeah, it makes sense. Negrin's had a relatively quiet game. But it looks a boy that's designed for these types of matches. Adverse weather conditions, looks like Tenecti's going to be the other change. Or is it Tenecti that's... Wait, he's just... I'm confused. It looked like it was going to be Benji that was coming off, and then Tenecti's the one that leaves the field. I'm confused. Tierney's got it into the box. Oh, that could have been a half chance immediately, fuck's sake. Well, on the Sky demographic it said it was Negrin that was coming off. They've just fixed it. It was Tenecti that came off instead. Negrin's apparently still on. It's good hold up play for Trusty. He's getting fucking pushed and pulled though. Referee eventually gives a foul, man. There's about 10 or 15 seconds of solid hold up play there for If you trust it. Starting to get into the part of the game where you really need to see Celtic start to go at them a bit more. Hearts know that a 1-0 victory, even if it's not necessarily well earned, would still do the season a magnitude of a good, just to stave off the kind of poor run of form over the last few weeks. That's got to be a foul, surely. Yeah. Devlin drugs his man down. I think it's like the 4th foul. I thought I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he got away with a number of fouls. Eventually he's been booked. Devlin's there. Only his 5th this season. That's a loose giveaway again, for fuck's sake, man. Then they give it away. Jesus Christ, now it's a foul. It's very stop, start, stop, start, let's be honest, man. It's No, that's more than fine, man. You be safe. Set piece opportunity, potentially. About what? 40-ish yards for goal, I'd say. Definitely territory for an in-swinger. Also lined up with zonal. Does not necessarily work out, but we do get it back. That is an overhit ass cross, though. I am sick and fucking tired of seeing overhit crosses, man. Like, when you're on the pitch for 2 fucking minutes, you can't be that out of sorts that fast. If you're the first sub on, you need to hit the ground running, big man. That is not the way to do it. It's another giveaway for Hearts and even more confusion, and another giveaway for Celtic. This shit is so poor to watch on all fronts, man. What the fuck? There's another weird 50-50. There's another weird touch. That's a fucking very loose challenge. I think another card might potentially be coming out. Yep, yellow for, I think, Steinwender there. He's in the book now. Yeah, definitely got to make contact with him one way or another, so he can have to take the jump over him, basically. Well, the Austrian's in the book now. That's an Aussie and an Austrian booked for them. Another set piece to come in now. A bit more dangerous area wise. Negrin obviously being left footed means he can curl this one in, which could be interesting. Well, interesting, I should say. You'll have a few players that will be interested to chase this one in, especially if there's a good loop towards a cross. You might want Trusted to take that kind of dance in. And to be fair, it's where it's aimed, but it's just, again, not well hit and really hard to get to. Even if you are about fucking 7 foot, you'd be stretching for that at best. Just some lacklustre passing. Set pieces have not been convincing at all, which is ironic considering the fact it's one of Nancy's strengths. But he's used to playing in Columbus, where it's probably a lot more humid, a lot more dry. It's like watching Celtic under. I wouldn't say it's like that. Well, Hearts do have a chance down that right hand side. Don't leave him open, for fuck's sake. There's a shot. Good save, Schmeichel. Jesus Christ. How do you even allow that to happen, man? I think it would have just been offside. It would have been very, very close, but it's going to be a Hearts corner kick instead. It's just not good at all, man. Well, set pieces have not been great at all. That's a ball in. No, what the fuck? Who's marking him there, man? McKenty's just scored a fucking easy header at the back post. He's been left on his own. And with 2 shots in target, oh, for fuck's sake, man, of course. Michael, what? Okay, I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused about who's meant to be marking him there. Because it wasn't just him. Halkett was fucking basically free as well. There was like 2 or 3 of them that were actually free. No, but look, what the fuck is that zonal marking bullshit? Maeda's marking thin air. Scales is standing in between the 2 of them. Negrin doesn't even attempt to go with McKenty. That's poor on all fucking fronts for every one of yous, man. And Schmeichel's save rate under Nancy so far is 0 fucking %. That is incredible. Like, fair enough if they cheesed a 1-0 win, but a fucking 2-0? Are you kidding me? This ain't good. Honestly preferred it when we had Martin O'Neill, but hey. 2 fucking shots in target, 2 goals. Well done, boys. That's incredible. The only fucking save Schmeichel has made was when it was offside. Like, excellent, man. Well, you just need to pull your fingers out your arse and go now, boys. It ain't a choice. Ball played in behind. Cut out quite comfortably in the end by Hearts. This shit is so retarded, man, on so many fronts. I don't get it. But fair enough. That's what happens when you try and fucking throw a manager into the deep end in a game that really you shouldn't be doing that. Should have just let Martin O'Neill keep the fucking reins until the end of the season. Then we could have picked a manager that's actually proven. But Nancy's got it all to do now, man. It basically means that we've thrown away the game in hand. Ball's been sent forward. Trust he's going to have to chase this one back. That's disappointing on all fronts, man. Just stale ass passing. Pretty much is just like watching a Rodgers side again, except with the added addition of having 1 less midfielder, so it's even more fucking stale at times. I said the ball movement's fine, but in situations where the weather is going to impact the fucking pitch, you kind of need to factor that in Scotland, mate. It's not that hard. Stale. Very stale. Oh, that's cute. Bro, you'll still lose the league, it's no bother at all. Like I said, this is a game in hand for us. We ain't stressed. Yous might beat us every time this fucking season, but yous will trip up to teams like Falkirk and Kelly. Let's be fully honest, man. Hearts do not deserve to be winning this game in any capacity. If a team deserves to beat us, I'll be the first to tell you they fucking deserve to beat us, but this has genuinely been the stalest, grabby ass performance I've ever seen. For both fucking sides. Hearts have effectively had 2 actual chances and somehow scored them both because, of course they do, and fucking Celtic have missed about 10 or 15 fucking open runs at the net. Taking the extra touch in the final third when there's no fucking reason to. Trying to be too clever on the crosses and passes. It's just, do the simple shit right first, lads. So I kind of have to feel bad for some of the players because they're running their hearts out but they're not getting real end product. There's a ball towards that far side here, maybe something. There is a shot straight at followed up. Yeah, that I agree with Crowtails. My hope is that Nancy wouldn't be stupid enough to play 5 at the back in a league where you're notoriously not meant to do that unless you're, you know, a bottom 6 type of side. Certainly played like it at points in this game. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you get into the space where you shoot, what do? Cut it back and take an extra touch. Like, can you fucking stop, man? Shot for range, over the bar. It's the same 2 things over and over again on loop, basically. Ugh, you need to fucking really do better than that, lads. So you go for the pure confidence that you are playing under a Martin O'Neill type of system to whatever this is, I guess. Can't remind the last time a Celtic manager started off his tenure with a loss. Yeah, I don't honestly disagree with you. His first 30-40 minutes pretty respectable. It's just been very stop-start. Little stints where we've looked alright, and then just stints where we've been pretty shite. Oh, Jesus Christ, this could be 3. Well, it could have been 3, honestly. Good shot across the face of the box for Hearts, but it just kind of sailed, you know, far wide. It's the Greek that had the shot, Caceres. Looks like Hearts will be making changes, and of course they'll be more defensively orientated. They realise they can probably see this one out. I know the tactical boards, I'm trying not to mention it, it's just why. It's going to be Kingsley and McCarthy on Caceres, and Milner's off. So yeah, definitely more defensive orientated changes. I think they have been locked in, Conlon. I think they've just been locked in the dressing room. They didn't come out for the second half. Can't really argue with that. It's a bit soft, but I think they're giving it for a fault. Hearts have more desire. Fuck off. That's not even close to true, man. The first goal was basically handed to them because McGregor couldn't clear a ball straight into him and fucking earned everything in his power to make sure that the Hearts players were onside. And the second one, nobody decided to mark them. We've handed them this game. Simple and pure. Bring a new manager in and the same fucking things get exposed immediately out the gate. It tells you that it's a bit more of a underlying issue than a tactical problem. That's what I'm saying. I feel bad for Nancy because he's pretty much fucked until January, until he can get signings in that make sense with his style. But, I mean, at the same token, if you fucking know that you can't play with numerous wingers because you've only got a select few, maybe stick with the system that was working until you can make those changes. If you're expecting the players to adapt, then you should be able to adapt just as fine as a coach. But he seems stubborn and set in his ways, so we'll have to see how it works out. But this is not a good, it's not a good omen at all. Like, even close. We've had good stints, it's hard to deny that, but again, considering the fact that midfield is usually the strongest part of our team, why the fuck are we messing around with that one part specifically, taking one extra defender out when we've not really been good defensively this season? It's almost been a problem. You know, it's not really a solution. So I hope if he does get the backing of the board, they're going to need to make some major fucking signings to make sure that those players actually fit the fucking system. Like a lot of us were on the board to just keep Martin O'Neill until the end of the season, but we'll just have to see what the board's vision is here. But if it's losing to 2-0 to Hearts with like literally 2 shots on target face, then yeah. And there's another cross into the box that everybody overruns because they can't fucking... They're just poor. It's poor. First half, aye, fair enough. Pretty much it, Gilly. Had a nail on the head. If you're getting paid millions per year and can't change the way you work with a manager's instruction, then you shouldn't be playing football. It goes both ways. because again, if you're a trusty or something, you're furious, because like, man, one of our biggest problems is the fact that we can't really defend because we always get overstretched at the back, and then you have a manager that comes in that's like, let's take another defender out of the system so we can have another winger, which means we just do the same side-to-side shite that basically Rodgers did, but in fucking worse aspect, because you don't have the extra midfielder. And our strongest part of the team is our midfield. It's not our attack and it's not defence, it's the midfield. And we fucked with it for no reason. So I hope it's a wake-up call, not just to the players, but to the fucking manager and the board as well. It's like, if you think this is going to be an easy fucking ride, it's not. Martin O'Neill made a very mediocre fucking side look very good. The same way that Ferguson made that United fucking side look very good when they were not necessarily stacked out with fucking great players for the first few years he was there. It's the same type of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not putting the blame on Nancy, but should have realised that playing three at the back is just not a smart idea in the SPFL. It's dumb. We've got 15 minutes, give or take, essentially, to try and drag something out of this. 2 goals would be respectable. Should have kept Martin O'Neill until after the final. I know, St Mirren might be looking at this game going, huh, if they're playing with the same formation as us, we might have a chance. There's another giveaway. Oh, I'm confused by that. The Celtic style of football has been different under Rodgers, Ange, O'Neill, Lennon, Dyer. Not necessarily, they all played the same pragmatic counter-attacking style of football, they just changed the formations. And again, all of them had different players, so that argument wouldn't make sense either. Like I said, it's a top to bottom thing. The players are over complacent because they're used to winning titles every season, so they're not playing at full capacity, they're not going at 150 miles an hour, more closer to 5. The managers are in the same boat where they think they're walking into a job that they can just canter, so some of them get caught out early unless they're literally unproven, in which case they tend to do well, which is my hope with Nancy. But the consistent thing has been at the top. Lack of investment, lack of youth development, lack of vision when it comes to the greater scheme of things. You know, gave Hearts a lot of shit in the first half because they were not playing good at all, but they've had a much better second half. I'm going to give them credit where it's due. They've came out with a bit more fight, so honestly, probably deserve at least something for this game. 2-0 is very harsh. It's unbelievably fucking harsh. But we need one back relatively soon. Ideally, relatively soon, just for our own sanity's sake. At least give us the hope of maybe coming back into the game, that'd be nice. There's just not been any critical chances, it's been very at times. McGregor played in, that's calm enough. Rio's just going to shift out towards that far side. Tierney, good cross, could be potentially threatening, not too damaging at all. In the end of it all, Scales just randomly gets in front of his man for no fucking reason and gives away a foul. Excellent. Well, that's going to be another fucking... That's going to be another like minute and a half stoppage. See that? I agree with Virtual. The 3 at the back just really is awful. It's just not going to work. Like Nancy, bro, the tactics board's pointless at this fucking stage. How about you look out with the field with your eyes and fucking point? Stop calling the fucking captain over because it's killing his fucking momentum because he has to waddle over to the sidelines every 10 minutes to see what you need to say. It's not a fucking peer review, Nancy. Stand up and shout. You're French, you should love being an insulting prick. This should be your jam, my guy. Maybe he's been too Americanised, that's his fucking issue. Has to sit there with twiddling his thumbs. Stand up and shout, brother. I want to see you fucking show some form of actual passion here. Be nice. Fuck's sake, Martin O'Neill at 70 goddamn 3 years of age was basically fucking breaking out of the touchline box trying to fucking give orders. Don't think Nancy's arse has left his seat. Just stale on all fronts, man, for the players to the goddamn fucking tactics. Failed experiment's probably a nice way to say it, at least for this game. Lifeline's the game in hand. Exactly. Look, that's why I'm not as stressed, because I'm like, look, it is what it is. Hearts will feel a wee bit of confidence, so that's good for them, but at the end of it all, they're still going to need to do this every single match somehow, which just ain't going to happen. But my issue is now, can fucking Celtic actually stave off the inevitable and actually fucking find a tactic that works before this shit starts a game where we're going through 10 fucking 15 match days of pure stale shite, trying to find 1 or 2 good games in between to kind of hang on to and be like, oh, maybe there is hope. I just don't understand why any Acho's on the bench if we're not going to fucking use him. Also doing fuck all, we could have 2 at the back and wouldn't matter. They're playing a long blow at the top in skills and trust they don't have the legs to go with it. Yeah, to a degree. But I think my point is that it would just be for stability's sake, because obviously if you have them playing at least with the extra man at the back, then they don't have to be dragged out of position as much. Their legs don't get as tired, and therefore they can defend a lot later into the game. Doesn't happen when you're forced to play with 3 at the back, because the only player that's really going to have any energy is Scales, because he's the one that's sitting in the middle, and that's about it. I don't really know what to make of this performance as a whole. I would say, honestly, just you have to just shake it off, right? It's a bad performance, obviously, but it is the manager's first game in charge. Can't really argue with it in that sense. Got to take the kind of good with the bad in these instances. But if this is the guy the board picked to fucking get us across the line this season, yeah, better start performing fast. Celtic is not a team where you can take 2-3 months to adjust. If you don't fucking hit the ground running, then you'll just miss the ground entirely and go straight under it. Celtic is a club that can bury you in terms of reputation, so you need to fucking hit the ground and fast, Nancy. I do not like the fact that he's doing that shit with the tactics board though, because it tells me that he's a pure fucking analytical type of coach and not a man-to-man coach, which is just, it's not a good omen. Anytime you see one of those managers that are standing at the sideline doing this with a lead, what the fuck's the point in that, bro? You have eyes, look out and shout. There's another massively overhit cross, incredible. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like he should have just stuck with Martin O'Neill's formation and then built his system around that. That could have worked. But I think switching things so soon, because again we were literally playing with a whole different system less than 4 or 5 days ago. So that's what I'm saying, like I'm not pissed off that we've lost. I think there's a way to lose. It's just the fact that Hearts haven't really played us off the park or anything. They just kind of waited for us to make a mistake and then capitalised. Fucking hiccups, can you piss off? Should still win the league? Oh, absolutely. There's no worries about that at all, man. And you give Nancy a chance. Yeah, this is. I think that's the thing. It's like, bro, like we're not wanting to judge you too fucking early out the gate, but what the hell is this? Oh my god, there's another good ball into the box that everybody's overrun. There's a shot for range that just sails over the ball. It's the same 2 fucking things, man. If this is all the tactics boil down to, just fucking stop with the extra wingers. What's the point then? Again, Tierney just overclocks the pass because Rio doesn't fucking run onto it because he's tired. Shite for every one of yous, man. That's the nicest way to say it. I've seen that, Nathan. Also, they're bringing on some fella that's going to see this game out. Shankland's off. Hearts came out with a plan, and their plan was to just hope that we were shite the day, and that was it. Again, like, their first goal wasn't tactical brilliance, it was just us fucking giving away the ball stupidly numerous fucking times for no reason. The second one was a set piece that nobody fucking marked. Like, if Hearts had played through us or got any actual football played, I'd be like, yeah, no, fair enough. But nah, Hearts haven't played through us. They've just literally, we've played through us. We've given them this game. It's the nicest way to say it. We've done most of the pragmatic stuff okay, but yeah, I think this just probably wasn't the ideal first game for Nancy to come in with. At least O'Neill should have stayed until after the cup final, in my opinion, because now the cup final actually has like a question mark over it of this could be fucking problematic, man. That's a good pass. Decent for skills, he'll just shimmy that one across. Nice spin on it, send the pass inside. Some decent football here, but I think it's too late in the game for us to really think about getting something from this match. It's more or less just for pride of their sake. And that just summarises it. We've missed the fuck. And now we've hit the ball. Fuck off, man. It's a game of FIFA. It's literally just a game of FIFA with the fucking sliders down. How are you that shit? Genuinely, how the fuck do you miss for 6 fucking yards out, man? That takes skill. You need to be awful to miss like that. I can forgive the shot into the ball because it's a harder one on the rebound, but how the fuck do you miss for there on? You've had about 16 of the fucking chances today, big fella, and you fucked them all. Real shot off the ball was fucking really unlucky because he took it on a gorgeous half volley, but I'm sorry, I can't forgive the Belgian for fucking that up. You can say it's a good save all you want, but it was straight at him. Be harder not to fucking save it. Diabolical, man. Fucking shite. Just summarises this game perfectly. We do all the things right, but the thing that fucking matters we can't do, which is get it between the fucking sticks. We have missed so many goddamn fucking chances this game. Same as every other fucking match, man. Like, what changes? Nothing. Oi, oi, oi. Well, not exactly the greatest opening stint to this, let's be honest. I feel like a lot of questions have been answered one way or another in this match, and I think one of the main questions is why the fuck do we keep trying to go over the top? Scales, stop fucking! Stop, just stop. You're not built like that. You're not like that. You are not him. Just fucking stop it. Hearts have basically played the worst I have ever seen them play this season, arguably, and somehow they've managed to walk away with a fucking 2-0 win. But Matt, bro, it's actually incredible. It takes skill. It takes genuine skill to be this like ineffective in front of net. Well, can't really argue with it. It'll just be a case to see what we can get out of the next like 2-3 minutes, I guess. A goal for pride? I don't know. Just something, I guess. It would be quite nice. No, that's why I'm saying it's not just the manager. There's a whole list of problems a day, just for top to bottom. But, I mean, if you want to take one silver lining, if we're playing this god-fucking awful, and we're still comfortably the better side, at least statistically, then, yeah, any team plays, like, even half effectively at finishing against Hearts, so it's going to be problematic for them. We could have scored about fucking 5 or 6 a day if we actually had the ability to finish a goddamn shot. So the score was right just for the wrong team, technically, yeah. It's good for McCowan. Yeah, decent ball in, but once again, just... Oh, how's that a fucking foul, bro? You're getting touched by Maeda. You're like a foot taller, you gimp. Holy shit, man. We have 4 additional minutes to suffer through. He's on his feet, look at him. Wow, man, it only took you 90 fucking minutes to actually start yelling. Fantastic. Well, welcome to Celtic Football Club, big man. Some fucking start. That's all I have to say. Never seen a 2 different halves, man. Like, Arn was great in the first half, barely fucking existent in the second, and the one time he shows up, it's to miss a header for like 4 yards out. Every other shot had just flown over the bar. I feel for Rio because at least he hit the fucking bar and it was a much harder shot to take. One for pride, boys. Ah, clear the way again. Well, it's fair to say stale is probably the nicest way to summarise us. I still have confidence that we'll win the league. Technically, we've just thrown away the game in hand. And given Hearts a couple of extra goals for the goal difference, so if we win it, you know, we'd need to win the next game in hand essentially quite comfortably at 3-4-5-0. To really give us that crack back, but I don't think it's too problematic for now. Like I said, Hearts tend to show up against us and Rangers, and then against the other teams they just play either really good or really bad. Scales. Tierney, that's nice, I guess. Nice wee move. Football ain't half bad there. Tierney gets it in behind. Cross ain't half bad. Another bounce around and nothing happens. Hearts will try to claim a fucking free kick because of course they'll. Ball whipped in again. And another miss. And another miss. Tierney shoots. It's in. Fantastic. We get one back right at the fucking end. Yay! How fucking excellent, man. It's a great finish. I can't take anything away from the finish, actually. It's really nice. It's just really disappointing that it took us that long to score. And it's actually probably one of the harder chances to take because he has to get it through a sea of bodies first. Good hustle for Maeda to get the knockdown back to him. Give the Japanese man credit there. The shot for Tierney is really good. Keeps it into the ground. Hits it hard and hits it low. We get one back on the board. Something. You know what I mean? We'll get another maybe minute or 2 added on top of this now. Nancy doesn't look too impressed. He's pretty much the same with all of us. So it's like, fantastic. You know, it would be nice to do that about 30 minutes ago. Oh, and of course, the VAR checking it a bit. It's the same shit all the time. Can you just, like, blow the whistle, man? There's nothing to check. Fuck off. Yep. Well, by the rules of their own game, because they give fucking most other teams about 3 or 4 additional minutes, we should, by virtue, get the same. But we need to go now. Still time, keep the faith. We're going to need the latest fucking flurry of all time. Let's try and break forward themselves. Ah, bollocks. It was a respectable attempt. Doesn't get away with it. Should have a bit more time at the least. Switched over far side. Decent take inside. Ball is just going to be cleared away. That's not good at all. And with that goal, you should probably have another man on top of this, so you have maybe one last chance. Up and awkward. And the referee blows the whistle, so apparently scoring a goal only gets you 15 seconds of additional time. Fantastic. Well, fair enough. Key Hearts are credit, I suppose. I mean, they're going to celebrate this like they've just won the fucking league, even though it's the most desperate, stale-ass performance I have ever seen. And if that's what wins the fucking league, then no offence, they should just disband the SPFL as an entire fucking league as a whole, because holy shit, that ain't a champion's performance. Celtic managed to get one back towards the end of that. I mean, fantastic, right? Nice goal. That's about it. There's nothing really else to add. Just stale. Yeah, and his big upset. Hearts will definitely drop points by the time we next meet. They still need to play us twice, so there is still the fucking 6 point swing on top of the fact we've got the game in hand. We managed to get that, then we have that playing into our advantage as well. If you want to look at the table, yeah, there you go. Not good. But if we win 5-0 the next match, then technically we just assume normal vibes, I guess, which is, you know, something. Key Hearts are credit, like I said. You can't fault a team that can hold on, but the fact is they beat us twice. The first time they deserved to, that time they did not. They just took advantage of some very good, you know, happen of circumstance, let's say. Obviously with the new manager coming in, the fucking tactics being just off. Yeah, I mean, it's good that we're not pure meltdown mode over this. Most of us are in the same kind of opinion. Look, it's a bad result, sure, it is what it is. But you've got a new manager coming in, playing a whole new system with players out of position because we haven't got the depth. Wait for a couple of months before we start kind of going, nah, get this cunt out or whatever else. And who knows, maybe things just get better from here. It's a hard test for Nancy to come into, right? Like, again, McInnes is probably one of the most experienced coaches in Scotland when it comes to getting results, especially when it comes to adverse weather matches. So the fact that it was pushing down just played into his favour, because Hearts tend to play a long ball system, which kind of caught us out once or twice, and that's all they needed to do. Pretty much for the first goal anyway, it was just that, and it worked. Obviously, with them being offside and fucking, well, playing them onside, I should say, and not stepping forward to make them offside, and then obviously just not marking that second goal, that will piss me off. I do not understand who the fuck was meant to be marking McKenty. Still won't understand even when I see it back, because he was just on his own. Very poor in that sense. But like I said, it's going to take time. 2, 3, 4 weeks at least before you kind of start actually forming an opinion. Martin O'Neill will be annoyed because it's a case of, like, he has done so much heavy lifting to tee Nancy up and be like, right lad, you can come in and it won't be as bad. And then as soon as he's out of it, just the Frenchman's just went, nah, I'm doing it my way. And it's not worked. So, you know, have to factor that in where you can, I guess. Can't say I'm too pissed off or really annoyed about it, to be honest. That is what it is. But that is what it is. Give them credit in that sense. Hearts will probably take it. Like I said, they'll build a wee bit of form off of this. It's the same the last time they beat us. They kind of kicked on and had a good stint the next 5, 6 matches afterwards, but then they kind of fell away. So if they can do the same type of thing, minus the mistakes of drawing, they can be a threat for sure. Like I said, we take them seriously if we're, you know, into January, end of February, and they're still with us or, you know, ahead. And they're, oh, you know, they're hanging in there. Nancy's Boa, I mean, yeah, he's not exactly great, but again, we have to wait for a couple of weeks before we, you know, before we have to really deal with any opinions of whether we should get rid of him. Martin O'Neill wouldn't have lost that game. Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Just changing too much too quickly after the last match. I do appreciate that, Gogats. I'm going to presume that you're a Jambo. Listen, I'm not shitting on Hearts at all. They do deserve something for this game. I think it would have been very unfair if Celtic somehow won this, but 2-1's just it's a bit of a kick in the teeth considering the fact that we finally click into gear on the 92nd minute. Look, nice. Better late than never, I suppose. You know, you're not going to argue with it in that sense, but yeah, just not what we needed at all. But we just have to simply go again. I'll pull up the next one that we will be live for, because we might as well do that before people bail out. Appreciate anyone that was here today. But our next match is a pretty interesting one, for obvious reasons. We're up against Roma in the Europa League, so hopefully there's a performance to be had in that game. Obviously we're still in the hunt, and realistically a win would put us through. We have basically 3 cracks at the whip. This was the same type of shit that we were doing in the Champions League last season. 10 points is the safety net, usually, for these types of formats. At least that's what we kind of figured out for last season. 10 to 12 points, you're basically guaranteed a spot. There were 1 or 2 exceptions at 9, so ideally win one of those games. We could theoretically do it against Roma, but Roma are a team that's trying to find their feet as well and actually have some form under their belt as well. So 11th of December, if you want to join us for that, the kick-off is at 8, but we'll be live about 15 minutes beforehand. Oh, Rangers fan, that's kind of surprising. Well, no, Celtic are still winning the league, let's be real here. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are in the same type of boat, man. Like, give credit to Hearts, but it's not too much of a worry. Like, we still have the game in hand. Win at 5-0, we're still back on top of the table. If not, then great, we're tied on points, and it's all pressure on Hearts because we know we're going to do this anyway. Hearts are the ones that are going to actually have to consistently keep that form up. Although, to be fair to them, if that's them playing it, they weren't necessarily great today. So if other teams can take advantage of that, then fair enough. But it would really just depend on mechanics, right? And more importantly, their injuries. If they don't get injured, yeah, they can do some damage. But Celtic are only going to get stronger as the season goes on, the same way that Aberdeen and Hibs and Motherwell and Rangers will. So Hearts need to do the same thing, but with the added addition of making sure that the core stays fundamentally intact. Because if they don't do that, then, well, it's going to be an issue for them, let's be honest. Like, they're going to have to be really good for the next few months before we're like, that is what it is. Oh shit, nice to see you, Megan. Hope you're well, Ross. Not confident in Nancy at all. The pitch didn't help. Yeah, I mean, that like, I'm trying to take every optimistic approach as to not give Nancy shit, but it's kind of irritating that the few times where it would cut to him, he'd be staring down at a fucking tactic board, something that you would get out of a fucking Duplo set or some fucking, Hasbro's toy. So you're going to put that there and like pulling McGregor over every 10 minutes to try and get him to say it out to the rest of the team when you have a voice yourself. He speaks English. It's a different story if he's a Japanese coach and he can only communicate with 1 or 2, but he's fucking French and he speaks English. So, Tend not to lose their games in hand, exactly it. That's a good way to think, my guy. Better late than never. I suppose in terms of the goal, at least like Tierney gets the first goal under the Nancy era. I suppose that's kind of fitting in a way. I have to kind of look at it like that. That's a confusing ass question, Ken. First half was good. Needs to get rid of the tactic board, just like a triangle, right? Yeah, fucking 2, right, man. That's what it kind of gave me the same vibe. That or Delia with his notepad. So they'd always be fucking standing there with that wee thing in his pocket. Like, bro, can you just like look out to the pitch and maybe use that? It's an option. You can just shout at them. They can hear you. Would be one of those. But for sure, I can't say I'm too disappointed or depressed about it in that sense. You been in the Discord at all recently, Megan? There's been a lot of conversations between the, obviously the last few match days, but the fucking Scotland draw as well, if you've seen that. We got cheesed. It's always fun. But, yeah. I think we've got maybe about 5-10 minutes to kill that before we wrap up this shit, so at least it's over with. Once they went 2-0 up, I think a lot of us were kind of in agreement that we weren't going to get too much for the game. A point would have been best case scenario. We do level a late goal. I was right about that, but unfortunately it just came a little too late for us to do any real damage. It's like as if I try to figure out what to change. I think it's obviously just the fact that he's been probably thrown into the deep end a bit too quickly. I feel like they should have let him come in to observe. Like that really infamous clip with Rangers where they had Pedro Caixinha sitting in the Celtic stands watching over the first Old Firm before he took charge. Like something like that, we should have done that with Nancy. Like bring him to Celtic Park to see how we set up against a team like Hearts, who is a competitive team and it gives him like a idea of what could work and what wouldn't. And if he looked at that game from the stands today, it would have been like, right, cool, 3 at the back doesn't work against teams like that, it's just stupid. Change up this, take out some players here, tweak some things here and there, and maybe he has a whole different system that's actually very effective for the way Celtic are. But playing with, you know, 2 left mids and a right winger and a left winger when you have a very, 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 very shallow amount of players that can play in those respective positions, it's going to be problematic, because you're just basically using your key players who are good midfielders out on the right and left hand sides. You want your midfielders to be in the midfield. That's why Alan wasn't as effective in the second half, because he was running his ass off trying to get fucking balls through. So whenever he would get into the final third, they would just be tired. The same with Nygren, the same with Yang. Like, they just didn't really have the end product, because they were spending 90% of their time trying to track down loose space that other players were leaving open because we had to cover the defence. It's just silly in a lot of senses. You finally got back on Discord. Are you in the Celtic community Discord that we've got, Kieran? If not, the name for it's down in our Discord. Well, down in the description, the name of the Discord if you want to join us. It reminded me of Family. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. There was a few that were cracking jokes about it basically being like a Man United fall off type beat. Wouldn't surprise me too much. Aye, Megan, you fucking hit the nail on the head, man. It's what I was saying during the first half. I'm like, I can see what he's trying to do, but when you've got a certain amount of players, you have to work with what you've got and you have to tweak and change as necessary. Like, if you're saying to the players, look, you need to adjust and change, do this, that, and the next thing, then yeah, you have to be able to do the same as the coach, right? If you're telling them, look, you need to do this, you need to lead by example and do the same, and if he's just sticking with the same shit that he was doing out in Columbus, it's going to be problematic. Like, it's not a bad thing for games like this, but you know, we really need something to put the flame under his arse a bit and get him to fire into gear. I'm not going to give Nancy too much shit. Again, there's only so much you can do with limited time. He probably doesn't know his best squad because he's only had about 2 or 3 days to actually, you know, integrate his system into this team. But I think the judgment will really come more towards the end of this month. Like, say we get battered by Roma and then really struggle for form domestically between now and January, then obviously we're going to be thinking, right, if we got another manager that's just not there, do we park him now? Do we do this, that, the next thing? You've already pried him away from a whole other club, so it's an interesting one. He's one of those, this is my system and we're sticking to it. Yeah, no, the one thing that, from his like pre-match interviews and stuff, he does say that he likes the idea of being able to adapt and change things, but his premise is having the ball, which means that he's predominantly a 3 at the back, 5 in the midfield type of coach, which is not the way Celtic play. Yeah, dude, I'm aware. It's been full time for the past like 20 fucking 30 minutes. You know, I'm not. He needs to win the League Cup or the pressure is instantly on. I feel like that's the minimum. If he doesn't hit the ground running with a fucking, you know, with that, then yeah, it's definitely not good. He changed the O'Neill's team. Yeah, exactly that. Yep, hit the nail on the head, man. I feel like it's just because there's some coaches that are old-fashioned and they're raised on the premise of not making it about identity or forming around this idea or ideology of how you should play. Martin O'Neill was simple. He was basically just, don't be shit, be effective enough, do your job and do it well. And if you can, then things will just click. And it worked. But Nancy will be coming in and he'll be looking at certain youngsters and going, right, you need to fit into this system in this way, and I need Arm, despite the fact that he's notoriously a guy that plays as a right centre midfielder. We're going to play him on the left hand side on a counter-attacking fucking winger system. Like, bad. Real bad indeed. That's not a bother at all, man. Nice to hear for you. Hope you're well and in good health anyway, Megan. You take it easy. I think I'm just talking about some of the stuff that we were just touching on there already. Just some of the things that Nancy needs to figure out in order to actually get to where he needs to get to. And all this level shite. Yeah, It felt like that today. I mean, like I said, I've watched a good number of Columbus Crew games in my time, so yeah, it definitely didn't hit the way that it should. If it was like the way that it used to be when they had like fucking Luna and Zella Ryan, yeah, no, maybe their tactics would work, but we don't have players that are like that. Our players are more, technical and, inverted. They like to play their own ways and systems. Rio's a technical passer the same way that Arn is, but you've got players like McCowan and McGregor that like to run at their men. You need to just find the right balance. Once we do that, then honestly I'm not worried. I feel like Nancy's good enough tactically to figure that out over the next few matches. That's why I'm not going to judge this one too harshly, the same way that I'm not really going to judge what happens between Celtic and Roma, because those two games are basically tune-up games to figure out what system he's going to play in Europe and what system he's going to play domestically. Those two, they better not be the same. That's all. They better not be the same. If it is, then we might have something to discuss quite early. But until that point, I'm not too stressed, let's say. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up and enjoy the rest of my day. I'm a lot less disappointed at the fact that it was just a 2-1 defeat. 2-0 would have been very annoying considering the fact that we did not deserve to really even lose the game. But like I said, give credit to Hearts, man. Solid side, did what they needed to do. But chase is still very much on. It's not as if we're stressing about it or anything. So let me get the right one. That's just not the right one at all. This is the right one. Thank you. I'm get ready to bail out for the night. Let's see if we gained any last subscribers that we can shout out. Well, actually, I did gain one. We're 4 away for 1800, so hopefully by the time that that Roma game ends on Thursday, we should be good. We need someone to finish that. I can 100% fucking agree with it. But, yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for coming along and taking the time to join us. If you've been here for just a little bit of the stream or the whole thing, you've been very much appreciated. Like I said, you can join us next time if you would like to. That will be on the 11th of December. It says 8 PM kick-off. I'll be live about, 15 to 10 minutes beforehand, so just kind of keep that in mind. Like I said, it will definitely be a tune-up game, so I'm ready to suffer through that one with ease. If you want to join me, you're more than welcome to do so. If you're off for the night, Caden, you take it easy as well, brother. Enjoy it yourself. But yeah, as today stands, not the greatest. We lose 2-1. We're the better team on the day, but it just happens sometimes, table-wise. Not the worst scenario. We can still catch them. As long as we get our finger out sooner rather than later. But yeah, that basically covers everything. Appreciate all the support in today's stream. Very kind of you all, and I hope you's yeah, we definitely need to get someone that isn't just dies in my either. I mean, get someone like a Sorloth or something, man. That'd be nice. That'd be very good. But who knows? Maybe Ionidas is still on the tail. That'd be a good wee steal. But I'm gonna get ready to bail out. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying yourself. And despite the result today, you know the drill. Celtic are still the best god fucking damn planet. Well, team on the planet, I should say. Team in the world. We'll catch you in the next one. Just take it easy. See you on Thursday. Till then, well, have a good one. Nancy, figure your shit out, mate. We have faith. We have faith. Till then, boys, take it easy. Unlucky. Wave. Shouldn't have lost that. Oh my god.